We'll begin our Wednesday morning time together to breathe at 8. Give some people some time to log on. And hopefully I'll be able to see some comments here in a bit. That has been kind of an ongoing thing. But as you log on this morning, if you could just say good morning or hello in the comments, that would be terrific. Looks like we have a change in the weather coming. At least a little bit of a change, which is welcome. I always look forward to autumn, even though the days are getting shorter, but I just look forward to the cooler temperatures. And good morning. I see we have someone who's logged on. Hi, Lynn. Bless you. So good to be with you this morning. I hope everything is going well. I know that you have been involved in a move. So I hope all of that is going well, right? We have someone else who's logged on. That's something that's kind of weird here on my laptop is I can see your comments, but I can't see who's logged on, but I can see it on my iPad. But I don't have a ready way to set up my iPad when I go live other than just holding it and the image gets shaky and all that kind of stuff. Um, so, you know, there's always a little imperfection somewhere. Yeah, so as folks log on, um, we'll say good morning and we'll get started in a couple of minutes. Took a few days of vacation last week and it was good to unplug for a few days. So, you're you're in the doctor's office for surgery follow up. I hope that all goes well, Lynn. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't. So, prayers for you during this follow up. Um, good morning, Mary. Bless you. So glad you're here this morning. Um, as I was saying a while ago, Mary, I don't know if you heard this, but I go live on my laptop because I've got a good place where I can, set my laptop and I can see people's comments, but I can't see people as they log on, even if they don't comment. And I can see all of that on my iPad, but I don't have a good way to set up my iPad. And I can't see stuff really well either. So, anyway, this is an ongoing journey and work in progress dealing with the technology. So, I see we have someone else who's logged on. Good morning. I'm so glad you're here. If you could just say, um, you can listen but not watch. That's interesting. Bless you, Mary. Um, anyway, as you log on, if you could just say good morning or hello in the comments, um, and we'll get started. Um, so, as we begin, and Lynn, I know that you're um, in the doctor's office, but maybe this might be a particularly good time for us to just take a few seconds to breathe and center as we begin. So just invite you to sit comfortably and straight so you can breathe. And let's breathe in and out, remembering that the Holy Spirit is as close as our breathing. And it's a mystery, really, when we think about it, um, how our breath is is this sign, this real sign of how close that the Spirit is with us. Um, I I have been thinking about this a lot since Sunday, listening to my daughter's sermon Sunday morning. My daughter Eva Englert Jessen, um, who brought the sermon for our online worship service this past Sunday, and you can still watch it on our page, First United Methodist Garland. If you'd like to take a look at that. But I thought it was a really good sermon. And yes, she is my daughter, and I am just unabashedly biased and proud of her. But I was listening to her, and my husband and I were just talking about just what a wonderful sermon that she was preaching. And I was thinking back to the model that I had. Good morning, Patty. I hope Randy's with you too. Bless y'all for being here. Um, my model actually for preaching was my mother, um, who is also a pastor and an ordained elder in the United Methodist Church. Um, I had heard lots of preachers, grew up in another tradition, but I'd never heard a woman preach. And my mom was the first that I heard. And uh, she just impressed me and influenced me in just many, many wonderful ways, um, and nurtured my own gift when I, after many years of wondering um, and refusing that I had a call, helped me follow through on my own call to ministry, and in the nerve wracking um, wading into the waters of preaching. And she gave me a lot of nurture there and a lot of encouragement and wonderful examples for how to do so within her own skin as a woman, without trying to be anybody other than who she was. And I witnessed that as my daughter was preaching Sunday. She just so embodied um, the message she was bringing, but also her own self. Um, and As I was listening to her, she was preaching on the text in Exodus 16 and Exodus 17, where um, the ancient Israelites, um, who had been enslaved for so many centuries, were liberated by God through the leadership of Moses and Aaron and Miriam. And, we're wandering in the wilderness, and, um, things were so uncomfortable and so unknown, and they began to yearn for what they knew, even if it meant going back to slavery, because they kind of knew the drill there, right? And so, they start running out of food. They're in the wilderness, and so they begin, making that known to Moses. And so Moses takes the concern to God, and so God provides uh, manna, um, which that Hebrew word manna means, what is it? They didn't know what it was, but it was something that nurtured them. Um, and the text in Exodus 16, it goes through describing what it looks like, that it's white and it looks like coriander seed, and it lays on the ground and it stays after the dew has dried, and it can be gathered just enough for what's needed for the day. If you try to hoard it, then it goes wormy. And Eva was talking about this, and she said something that has been ringing in my thoughts and in my heart ever since. She said, there's mystery in the substance. Mystery in the substance. This substance which just appears every morning, and which isn't readily recognizable or definable, and um, but which keeps those ancient Israelites alive. And I've been thinking about mystery ever since then, because it seems to me that mystery surrounds us. Um, of course, if we claim that we believe in God, or a being higher, bigger than our own selves, bigger than all of us gathered together. However, we understand that, and there are many understandings of God, but that um, it's a mystery to realize that we are contained within God. And the prayerful language that's often used is in whom and through whom we have our being. Good morning, Lloyd. Bless you. I'm so glad you're here. Hope you all are well. And we mysteriously exist within God, who is loving and grace filled, and who has an endless amount of patience and mercy and grace to offer, abundance never ending. Um, that is a mystery. That is a mystery, because our own context, our own living, our society tells us that there's not enough, um, that we have to compete for resources. And God's way of being, in whom we are contained, exists and lives out of a totally different set of values. Um, that all we need will be provided, and that God will always be present. And then, for me, one of the most stunning mysteries is that the Spirit, God's Spirit, which is all the time and everywhere, is as close as our own breathing. And we take our breathing for granted. It's something we do without thinking about it, until we have to think about it, or until that breath is threatened with illness or the violence by another. And it is a mystery that we can breathe the Spirit in and out, into our bodies and out into the world, reminding us, and hopefully everyone around us, of the mystery that exists right at hand with every breath. So, as we come to close this morning, I invite us to close the way we began, and that's to live in the mystery that is with us with each breath. So let us breathe together. Breathe in God's goodness. And breathe out peace. Breathe in God's Spirit. And breathe out peace once again. My friends, thank you for being here this morning. And for those of you who joined throughout the day, all of you, peace be with you. And never forget that you are a blessing. Until next time.